Well, I've moved on to treatment attempt number 4. First were the anti-inflammatories. They don't do anything. Then we had Enbrel. It did do something, but it did it so well that I was now getting too sick, too often, too dangerously ill, so we had to quit. Then we moved on to Cosentyx, which did nothing. So here we are, number 4. First anti-inflammatories, 2 biologics, JAK inhibitor. You can look that up, it's boring stuff. And so far, of all the other medications, this is the one that has been the worst. Of all the treatments I've tried for ankylosing spondylitis, this has been the worst in terms of how I feel every single day. The others that have the explosion of side effects and then it would die down. And also it would be, some of them, the rest of the side effects were you could handle them. So you could handle it, it's gas, a bit of a runny tummy here and there. You could survive it. You didn't really feel it. This one, Rinvoq or Rinvoq, depending on who you are, is for me and many other people, the pits. It is torture. And I just keep telling God, this had better be torture that's working, and this had better be torture that is going to end, because I don't know now. Quality of life versus life limiting. I don't know where I stand, folk. I don't know. It's this extra, it's not fatigue, it's sleepiness. So I've got the normal AS fatigue. I wake up and I'm tired, heavy, can't move much. Now it's the sleepiness. It's like I've been given an anesthetic and I'm battling to stay awake, but then I have to fall asleep. My body is getting worse. The AS is still moving on, and the medication at the moment is just... And I just say, who cares? Who is seeing me? Who is thinking? Who cares? It's, when you're just all alone in your suffering. I mean, the Rinvoq nurse did contact me 2 days ago to ask how the side effects are, if they've reduced and all. But it's her job. But the rest of the world is like, I'm just on this island of suffering and everyone else is just going about their day. And it's the most loneliest feeling on earth. Except for God. I was asking him, God, does anyone care? Does anyone care about me the way I care about them? And then, obviously, he's like, I do. And I don't know, I just felt this warmth. I didn't hear a voice, I just knew, because I know my Bible. God speaks through the Bible, and I know he sees, because he says so. He neither slumbers nor sleeps. So he sees it. He sees everything. He sees what the AS is doing throughout my body. He sees the lungs. He sees it all. He's always thinking about me. He's watching me. His eye is on me. He sees me. He cares about me. He wants to know how I am. He told me, tell me, cast your cares upon me. If that's not an invitation to tell me daily, hey, tell me how you're feeling today, then there's no other invitation. Cast your cares upon me. So he does see me. He does care. He wants to know how I am from my mouth, but he also does know how I am. He sees me. And that is good enough, because really, what else can anyone do but see me, care, and want to know? They can't take the AS away. We just need people who care, people who see us. And I'm thankful that God does. I go on to talk about other instances in the past, but after I recorded this video, I went to my phone and there was a message, a reminder, just as I will go on to say in this video. It was just like a hug, a human hug. The last time I ever got an immediate direct response like this was during that whole, but people in America have help when they're adopting. Why don't we ever get people who donate to our adoption costs? That was, and I know, I think I shared that in the adoption story, so I won't go into it again. But this was the second time that immediately I said something, God sent an answer. So that's where we are with AS. The symptoms are the side effects of the sleep, the sleepiness, extreme sleepiness throughout the day. And I take it at night. Because when the first time I took it the day it arrived in the daytime. I took it in the early afternoon and I was gone. Gone. Like, as I said, like I've been under general anesthetic. So it's like that for me. So far, it's going to be almost 2 weeks next. It's almost 2 weeks. I haven't reached 2 weeks yet. And this is what gives me hope. Rinvoq side effects don't always last forever. Some people, they can have it for weeks, months, and then it stops. I am praying so hard that I will be one of those who it stops, for whom the side effects stop. But it must also be helpful. I would love to be a good story, a feel good story. I really would. So it does help. It can help, rather. People can feel like they're normal. People can actually go off their medication, the pain tablets, the anti-inflammatories, and just only take Rinvoq. I can't imagine that kind of life. So people can stop the medication if it works for them. People can actually feel 100% normal again. And that is something I crave, not only for myself, but for my children who I'm their teacher. I have to be okay. Add in now with those side effects of my body itself being at war with me. It's the fatigue, the sleepiness that comes with Rinvoq. I'm teaching even less than I'd want to. I'm sorry. I'm teaching even less than I'd want to. And I was already feeling bad because I'm not doing as much as I would want to do each day. So there's that. And you already know from the other video about autism awareness, I have no option. There is no, well, really, if you really wanted to have them have enough education, you'd send them to school. I can't. There aren't any schools for us in our area. So I am tired. I have these headaches that it has brought. I have sleepiness that just it takes me away. I will edit this video and I'll be working, and then an hour later I fell asleep at the 2-minute mark and it has just been speaking and I'm gone, zonked. That's how it is. It's taking away even my working time when I'm not teaching because it puts me to sleep just like that. My nights, as soon as I take it, it's like, okay, time to sleep. I fall asleep with my laptop on my chest. You're walking around feeling like you're drugged. You're heavy from the disease. You're drugged from the medication. You feel sick inside yourself. You know, like that flu feeling? That's AS when it's active and you have it every day with the pain. So there I am. What did I say again? The headaches, the fatigue, sleepiness, the fact that it hasn't yet started working. But also, there is the fact that mouth sores. This is the beauty of joining the groups. You need to join the group for whatever situation you're in. The nurse, she found out my symptoms and then my side effects and said, I hope they do eventually go away. I told her about the mouth sores, but in the groups, they give suggestions. They don't always work. Our bodies are all different, but one of the suggestions, or some of the suggestions, was folic acid and L-lysine. They work for me. The mouth sores were at the top of on my hard palate, top here, in my mouth, like between my lip and my teeth, on the gum there, on my tongue, and on my other, uh, on my lip, inside my lip. I took L-lysine and they never got worse. The folic acid and the L-lysine or prayer, they improved it, and it's definitely even more than bearable now. So you learn a lot from the groups that no one else will help you with because they don't live it. Or they live it but they've forgotten, or they're busy, so they think, okay, I have to get through this patient and then I've got the other patient, They might be busy, but they do know. They just don't tell us how to deal with it. So that has gone. So that's where we are with our Rinvoq. It's early days. It's not positive days yet. It's worsening days, but that's because also winter is coming, and winter is always my flare season. Always, guaranteed. So there's that as well. And what else did I want to say? Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, God is there. He is our shepherd. Doesn't mean the lambs are always safe, but He's there. So that's where I am today. I just need to remember, God cares. God wants to know. So I can yell at Him and tell Him, not yell at Him, yell the symptoms, side effects to Him every day, all the day if I want to. But I can also thank Him. What I will thank Him for is for my daughter. She is very sensitive to how I am. So sensitive that I'd hidden that I was back on an inhaler because my lungs were also broken down. Shall I put it that way? Broken down when I went for my checkup. And I'd hidden it from them. I didn't tell them. I don't actually tell them how the checkup is going because invariably it's not positive. But she found the asthma pump and she asked, "This again, what part of you is not wrong?" I can't answer that question because, yeah, things are not that great. But that's my other hope. My hope is that this works so that this portion of my body, the lungs, starts to slow down in its trajectory, and that I have many more years of good health. People can remain on these treatments, not on Rinvoq because it's so new, but on other treatments for 13 years, 14 years. Wouldn't that be lovely? Imagine me cooking, baking, going out with my children again, it would be great to be able to exercise. It would be wonderful. And I hope that I don't have the other side effects. This is one of those serious ones where your liver, your cholesterol, your heart, strokes, death. It's by far the scariest of the medication I've taken. Why? Not because of the side effects, which all medication have side effects, but it's frequent. They themselves say these are the frequent things you will experience, or you could experience. And when you go to the groups, indeed it is so. Most people have had liver problems and had to go off, even though it was curing or treating their other problem. We need our livers, we need our hearts. So we're dicing with death. One lady had 2 strokes. One was a mini stroke, and the next one was a real stroke. So she's still going through rehab now. Another lady, and this is where my biggest fear is, because this is worse than Enbrel. So if I picked up those infections and viruses, bacteria, all of that stuff with Enbrel, I'm definitely, unless God intervenes, going to get sick with this one too. It's worse, stronger. So people have gone through a lot. Sepsis, pneumonia, double pneumonia, 3 times, 4 times, twice for sepsis in hospital, one human body. And that's where you see, wow, this body God has given us, yes, it's very fragile, but it can withstand so much. for people to still be alive after all that. But unfortunately, not all do live. One lady said, because the question had been, how many of you members have not come close to the brink of death? Or have come close to the brink of death. So one lady said, well, my husband died. He had a lung infection. He was taking Rinvoq. He died. So yeah, it's, our Edinburgh was academic. That, okay, this can happen, and then it did happen. And then we went off it. This one, it's scary. So my only other difference is that time my pulmonologist had not yet told me to use an N95 mask. This time I will wear it, and I will wear it religiously. And I will end on this note. I was in the queue at the pharmacy wearing my mask, and this lady says to me, she pats me and says, oh, you must get better soon, blonde lady. So I said to her, oh no, I'm not the sick one. I'm trying to avoid catching anyone else's sickness. Then I told her, I'm on immunosuppressants. And she touches me again. And she says, oh, Mo, oh no, God bless you. So it's those little moments where God says there are people who care. It might not be your best friend, your cousin, your nephew, your niece, but there are people with hearts. I've given them hearts that care. And here they are speaking for me in a way that I can't, because we have the whole heaven, the earth, the firmament between us. But I've got the Bible, and I've got little angels who God sends along the way. Take heart, folk. This is very hard. This is not the last part. This was the part I was going to as well. The occupational therapist asked me about the children. I'm sending 3 of them to her. And she says, you've got 3 children. Wow, that's a full house. So I said to her, well, that's half of them. I've got 6. She's like, okay, really, how do you cope? How do you cope? Because she's got 3 children, but they're all neurotypical. So how do you cope with all these children who aren't okay, who are so challenging? I'm really interested. And she put her notebook down. I had no answer. I honestly had no answer, because I don't feel like I'm coping. There's no magic button. There's nothing I can tell her. I told her, there's nothing. I can't say that there's anything magical or different. I just have to do it. I have to be a kind, caring mom no matter what. No matter what. There's no secret. There's no recipe. You just cope. And I can't say it's God, because lots of non-Christians also just cope. We do what we have to do. We survive what some people will say is not survivable without going certifiably insane. But here I am, still standing, surviving, coping in a way. And yeah, the angels are there. The people do see. It might be your doctor, but even if it is just your doctor, take your doctor's voice as the voice of God reminding you he sees, and cherish every word that you've read in the Bible. His assurance is in there. You are beloved. He will joy over you with singing.